going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got to talk about what Stephen A. Smith just said about Julius Randle. He done went in on him twice this morning. First on Get Up and then on First Take. And I've been saying this about Julius Randle. I remember I made a video about Jalen Brunson and his emergence, and people was like, no, the culture started with Randle, Randle this, Randle that. Yes, Randle went there as a free agent. You know, he did a solid job that first year. But we also saw the blueprint of what he was going to be in the playoffs and how they empowered him to play like a freaking point forward. And that is not Julius Randle's skill set. Him ever dribbling up the court is a bad possession. I don't care how many times it works in the regular season. Any three he takes is a bad shot if it's not off of a catch, and it should be a maximum of 2 a game anyway, because that's not something he's strong at. He doesn't have even like a normal stroke. Whereas, like, you see how Trae Young swing it to John Collins, it comes out as someone who's supposed to shoot it. Or like Kevin Love, when he is moving off the ball and he finds his spot on the wing, it looks like he should be shooting threes. Julius Randle does not look like a player that should be taking so many threes. And not only does he take horrible shots, he compounds mistakes with stupid fouls. He pouts. He hates when the team's doing well when he's not on the court. You know, he had that back and forth with Knicks fans last year, and I get it. You know, he at times he can look really good. When Randle is playing in the paint, then yes, he can be a force, but he has so many bad habits now, we rarely see him play there. And I'm not even saying people talking about they'll load up on him in the paint. I'm not just talking about him shooting shots. As strong as Randle is, if he stayed in that paint, he would be able to provide second and third opportunities for the teams at times. And they wouldn't be getting off, like, the defensive rebounds. They couldn't grab him, and Mitchell Robinson couldn't grab them last night. They were getting beat to 50-50 balls in critical parts of the game when they were cutting it to 3, cutting it to 5. Then they hit a 3 off of a offensive rebound. And so Stephen A. Smith leaned in on him this morning, man, and I'm going to be back with my commentary. Check it out.
Julius, you guys haven't been able to get the amount of offensive rebounds and loose balls that you were in the Cleveland series. Just what have they done maybe to kind of beat you at your own game almost?
Maybe they wanted more. I don't know. That's been who we are all year, and we got to find a way to, step up and make those plays if we want to keep the season alive.
Julius, to that, where do you go to find that in the middle of a series?
I look within. That's all I can say. Look within. How bad do you want it?
I'm kind of scared, Greeny.
Why is that?
Kind of scared of what I want to see on national television. I'm so disgusted with Julius Randle. I'm so disgusted with R.J. Barrett. Little less than Julius Randle. I'm not disgusted with anybody more than I'm disgusted with Julius Randle. I'm on the verge of asking for him to be traded. I'm just disgusted. I think that this series is over. I think that the New York Knicks, orange and blue skies, it was a nice run. I'm very proud of Jalen Brunson and the kind of impact that he's had on the New York Knicks. As much as I respect and adore Tom Thibodeau and the coach that he is, I'm looking at the personnel that he didn't use and the people that he trusted and he relied upon and how they haven't come through for him. It would have been nice to see him throw a twist in the mix, even throwing some of the bodies we haven't seen throughout the regular season into it, a la Evan Fournier or Derrick Rose, even give somebody some help, because with what Julius Randle has been doing, I mean, you might as well try anything. I'm on the verge of coming on national television and asking for the man to be traded. I mean, just the regular season is one thing, but the postseason, don't get me started with what he does in the postseason. I'll get into all of that on First Take, but my heart's hurting, I'll admit it. I'm emotional when it comes to the New York Knicks, not objective when it comes to them at all. I will openly concede that to the public at large, but I am utterly disgusted. I vomited last night. watching them. I have to admit that. I had literally vomited. I threw up because they were that damn awful. I mean, they put construction workers to shame. They can't shoot. You got a star in Julius Randle that gets petulant and petty when he's not shooting the ball well, so he does everything else wrong. I'll get into it more as I gather my composure and what have you, but I consider the Knicks season a wash. It's over. I was planning on finally going to the Garden for the first time this Wednesday. I'm not showing up. I'm not watching this. It's pathetic. I'm really disgusted with them. And, at least they had a weekend in South Beach. I guess that's something to brag about. Most of us would have liked that. They had that available to themselves. And they come back to New York with a loss. Maybe they'll win Game 5. Maybe they won't. But they're not beating the Miami Heat 3 straight times. They're just not good enough. I think they should trade them. If you could get your hands on somebody like, yeah, I said it. Okay. Did I stutter, Victoria? Did I stutter?
No,
I didn't
you
stutter.
did not stutter.
Yeah, they
No,
should trade them. If you could get your hands on a car, now don't get me wrong. I'm talking basketball ability. Now, durability, I don't think anybody can compete with Julius Randle. He's been Mr. Reliable. Played the first 77 games of this season before he got injured. Played the last 5 games. So reliability, dependability in that regard, I can't sniff at that. But I'm talking about from a talent perspective, particularly come playoff time, I'd rather have Karl Anthony Towns than Julius Randle. And you know how I feel. I know he's 32 years old. Do you know what I would give to get my hands on and Damian Lillard at the Garden? Do you know what I would do for that? It wouldn't have been a shot making issue if he was on the court. I promise you that. Okay, now I'm dreaming, and I understand I'm dreaming, but damn it, I'm allowed to dream, JJ. I'm allowed to dream. We have suffered, and once again, we're gonna suffer again.
So let me examine what Stephen A. Smith said. Trading Julius Randle, yes, that should absolutely be high on the priority list, and really R.J. Barrett too. You gotta get upgrades at those positions. Bringing Damian Lillard into the Garden is not the move. I'm so tired of Stephen A. thinking that the person that scores the most points is the best fit for what you already have. Jalen Brunson is the established point guard on this team. Why would you bring another guard that's about 6'2" in? You have to actually defend the other team. I would say something like, look at a Jaylen Brown. If there's really trouble in paradise over there in Boston, and he still kind of feels some sort of way about the potential trade that was for KD at the time, see what it would take. If they don't reach the mountaintop, or if they even lose in this round, they may make a move. See if you could get a Jaylen Brown, someone 6'6", 6'7", on the wing. Because who are you having problems with right now? Jimmy Butler. Yeah, Dame's going to go out there and score a bunch of points. And Jalen Brunson may be able to score with him too, but who are you stopping? Jaylen Brown can kind of offset some of what Jimmy Butler would be doing, especially enough to give your team a shot to win the series. So Stephen A. just believes in the men that have scored the most points, they make your team better. And I don't necessarily believe that. The Knicks structurally have a lot that they need to change with this roster. And I'm not saying that Tibbs should even be there, because Tibbs is partly responsible for building this Julius Randle, that can shoot every shot he wants. Julius Randle shooting 12, 13 threes a game. Go back and look at the way he played in New Orleans. Julius Randle, if he continued to progress that way, then he would be playing good in the postseason. It's just the style of game. He thinks he's KD and LeBron and all these guys that can play out on the perimeter at that size. And he's not. He's just simply not. He is a definition of a back-to-the-basket player. He doesn't have a skill set. Just because you go do something don't make you that. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude, just because I pull someone's tooth out don't make me a dentist. I just pull someone's tooth out. This dude, I don't get why he's so hell-bent on playing to his weaknesses in a way that is detrimental to the team. And then when they don't go his way, he's upset, he's sulking, he's not feeling good about it. Like, this is literally the definition of insane, trying the same thing over and over and expecting it to work. And that's the way that Julius Randle plays. But I will have to say, Stephen A. Smith, Dame does not need to go to the Garden. Actually, ironically enough, Dame may need to go to Miami. With Jimmy having those knee issues and different things sometimes, now Dame will have to buy in the Heat culture. He can't take all those 40-footers and just shots like that to just show his talent. But if he buys in and go back to more how he used to play when he had LaMarcus Aldridge, you remember Dame early in his career, he would get that screen up high and he would throw that left hand behind the back pass on right on the money to LaMarcus Aldridge, and he would have an easy shot every time. If Dame gets back to playing point guard Dame, because I don't necessarily like the 60-point scoring Dame as much as he's doing it in Portland. Now, some may say he has to do it, but I saw Jeremy Grant and some of those guys look a little bit better when Dame wasn't playing, because Dame is such a volume shooter and he shoots too many threes. And I say that because Dame has the ability to break you down and get into the paint, and he doesn't have to settle so much. But if he went to the Heat and gave them that other option, I think in that culture, that's where it would make more sense. But pairing him, and again, Jimmy Butler's 6'7", so him and Dame as a backcourt, you like, okay, yeah, we got something. That the size of those players and just how they live for the moment, yeah, that would be good for them, but not for the Knicks. The Knicks need to do something totally different. Try to poach, try to get a Jaylen Brown from the Celtics if he's not happy. Build out the roster with some of the players that people sleeping on. That I would take the young center Jalen Duren from the Detroit Pistons. If they're gonna go in the direction of Wiseman, I'm telling you, Jalen Duren is sitting on the bench, but this kid rebounds at such a high level, finishes above the rim, and I can guarantee you 1,000% Bam Adebayo would not be doing him this way. And so you start rounding that roster out like that, and yeah, I agree. Julius Randle has to go. RJ Barrett has to go. RJ has to go because he just sulks. He takes bad shots. He's just not a team guy. It's not what I would be looking to build with their franchise. I don't know how people feel about Miles Bridges, but apparently he's gonna be out the first 20 games next season. It'd be interesting to see if he ends up with the Hornets or somebody like the Knicks try to bring him in. We'll see, though. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.